Welcome back to the Mowing in the Dark podcast. I am your host, Aaron Sutter. Thank you for tuning in to another episode. Guys, today we have a special guest with us. We have Evan Lindman from Farmington Hills, Michigan. He's just about an hour away from me. So how you doing, Evan?
I'm doing great, Aaron. How are you?
Good. So this is our second run at this. I
Yep, that's
forgot to
okay.
push the record button.
I've done that too. Don't ask.
So Evan is my first non-family guest on the podcast.
There we
So
go.
Evan, yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us how you eventually made your way into lawn care.
Aaron, thanks. It's an honor to be on, guys. Lansing Lawn Service out there is awesome. I got to know Aaron. Side note, got to know him at the Equip Expo this past year because I actually went, and it was an honor through Tony Rudolph from Tony's Lawn Care. But anyways, so just to start out here, I've always kind of been interested in lawn care ever since I was like a little boy. My dad had a tractor, and he would let me. I would ride the tractor with him, or he would just let me doing that when I was cutting his lawn. Fast forward all the way to senior year in high school, I had a buddy named Eli. We were trying to figure out what we wanted to do for going out for our senior year for the summer to make some money. And I'm like, hey, do you want to start a lawn care business? He goes, sure, because he already did that. He had about 5 lawns of himself, but he didn't have any of the equipment. I had more of the equipment. So we got 2 push mowers together, stick edger, old weed whip, and then we just went at it there the first summer, passed out a ton of flyers, built something up, very successful, cash only, but we were not charging enough even back in 2010, which is almost 13 years ago. Definitely not charging enough. The next summer, my dad kind of helped me. He invested. We got a Cub Cadet walk behind commercial 36-inch mower. We ended up firing my friend Eli. I still talk to him here and there. We kind of fired him. Well, once my dad took it over, we kind of fired him, and because Eli wanted to only mow when it was the hottest times during the day. Like, he didn't want to start knocking out these like 10 lawns until like 4 or 5 p.m. during the summer. I'm like, okay, that's not how it works. And so long story short, from since then, because my dad, he only helped me that first year, I took it over after him, went from a 36-inch Cub Cadet to a 52-inch X Mark, then to a 60. And now we're full-fledged, just mowing still right now. So it's a lot of mowing. We do mulch and hedge trimming, but what I primarily do is mow. I pride myself on being very OCD when it comes to mowing. So if any of you guys want to talk like obsessiveness with mowing and cut quality and striping, that's me. But I'm working solo now. I actually had a buddy who helped me for 9 or 10 years. His name is Zach. He now works for the Department of Public Works out here in Farmington. It's just a better fit for him with the job. But if it wasn't for Zach, I wouldn't have not really have been able to build things up the way that I did it. I mean, I didn't really have to do any marketing with my business. The only thing I did was just flyers, and word of mouth really gets you very far in the lawn care business. And if you just do quality work, the rest speaks for itself. And then obviously God carried me through though too. If it wasn't for him just giving me favor, I wouldn't have gotten nowhere. So
yeah, that's awesome, man. So I looked on your Facebook page a little bit, and I saw that you went to college for film. Is that right?
I did. So actually, while I was building the lawn care business after high school, I always had a passion for like YouTube and filming, and I have a different YouTube channel that no one will ever find. But anyways, it was back in 2013. I graduated from film school. It was the Motion Picture Institute out in Troy, Michigan. So if you do the little hand thing, it's just about 35 minutes north and a little bit east of kind of Farmington Hills area. And so I went there. It was just an awesome kind of 12 not 14-month crash trade school. I went for cinematography and directing, and really I kind of already knew like the tech specs for cameras and stuff, but the school was not just a button pressing school. It was really hands on. And then after film school, I worked up on a feature film out in Lansing right after I was a PA production assistant. It was called The Funeral Guest, and it was kind of this romantic film. It was only a $500,000 budget film, but basically these couples, they go and they crash funerals, basically what it was. So I helped out on there on film, really low budget, got paid for that. And then since then I had tried to build a wedding film business, and I did get somewhere, but lawn care always kept calling me back. God always kept pulling me back to just, I'm going to grow this. And thing is, I think it's a lot easier in some sense to build to build a lawn care business than it was for wedding films, because it's a very wedding film market here in Michigan is very seasonal. It's like spring, summer, and then no one really gets married like past Halloween and fall and the winter. You can find some people, but if you really want to grow that business, obviously I could have pushed it more with word of mouth, but we really need to be in a different state like Texas or like Tennessee for that type of stuff. But I took my film, skills, and I have a YouTube channel at E&D Lawn Care, and I apply it all to that, and I just do a bunch of random YouTube videos. And I actually met Aaron at the Equip Expo 2022 this year, and checked out his channel. Aaron's podcast is great. It is faith in lawn care, and he's just a really light and a really dark lawn care mowing community at times. So, yeah,
Yeah, man, I just thought that was so cool. And I live right. I mean, outside of Lansing. When was it that you filmed that helped on that film in Lansing?
that was back in 2000, end of 2013, early 2014. So,
Okay, so
yeah,
I didn't start my business yet. I started in 2014. So
there you go.
we would have been living downtown Lansing, um, just by the McLaren Greater Lansing Hospital. And when I
No
was
kidding.
working there, there was there was actually another film. I don't know if it was your film or not, but we had a floor that we didn't have any patients on, and so a film crew came in and filmed a scene or two on that floor. So I don't know if that was you guys or not, but
It might have actually been us. It's been so long. It's been almost 10 years. I don't really remember, but it was a appropriate film. But I was just kind of a PA, just running around
yeah,
trying to assist there on the production though too. But
sure,
that's when I really thought I was going to break into the film industry. It's kind of a whole different like my video work is fine, like cinematography is fine, but just what I really wanted to do was just to push weddings and then get into other stuff and work for a production company. It never really seemed to pan out. So that's where lawn care won overall. So, and I was actually
yeah,
still doing my lawn care business back in 2013, but it's such on a much, I guess, quote unquote, smaller scale. So I can knock out my cleanups and still commute 45 minutes out there to Lansing, then come
yeah,
back. So it was quite the haul, but made it work. So it was
yeah,
decent money. It's just foot in the door. Like just starting out
yeah.
with lawn care, my first year, a lot of my jobs were just low ball, foot in the door, type jobs, like almost too cheap. But that's kind of how you build it. I mean, that's not how I would build it now, but you kind of take whatever you can get that first year doing lawn care.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I actually still have a lot of the clients that I started with when I started, and I lowballed, but over time I've raised the prices, and so a lot of those have still stuck with me. I'm always surprised every year when I raise the price that they still stick with
Likewise,
me, but it must be I must be doing something right. So I actually saw in some of your YouTube videos, it might have actually been a short. It looks like you've got some bigger like suburb type properties. Like those seem to be at least the one fall cleanup that you did, where
oh
I
yeah,
mean there was just a ton of leaves, and it looked like a big yard for a subdivision. So are you taking care of what size yards are you typically taking care of?
they're mid-sized cookie cutter lawns. So that was a corner house and then a neighbor next, and I mow those for $33 each, and then
Okay.
the cleanups took me 6 hours, so I charged them roughly 650 for that. So, but
Uh-huh.
luckily the leaves were so dry that day, I just hopped on my Echo PB 9010T, guys. Great
Yeah.
blower, blew them all into the woods there. Luckily, where those two clients were at, you could put them right there in the woods. But these are your typical cookie cutter neighborhood lawns, but they're a tad bigger. The $33 side doing solo. Okay, so to give you some perspective, down that same neighborhood, I have okay, technically I have about almost 50 lawns in that neighborhood, but I have a 15 lawn stretch and stop. And depending on the dry months, it can take me anywhere from 4 hours to 6 hours to mow 15 lawns. And so
Yeah.
just the mowing on 15 lawns, just straight mowing, is about 3 hours. And then the whipping, I try to get that done in an hour, but a lot of steps. But these are bigger lawns than people think. Like they're not completely small, like small, houses right next to each other, but they're really apart more, and they take some time. And going solo this year, I really suffered. I actually lost weight. I'm like, man, I want Zach back, who was helped me out for a very long time. And it's like, I hate whipping, but I got my Shindawa. What's it? What's the Shindawa? It's a T22, something T260, 260
Okay.
T. I think that might be the Red Max. So I'll have to look it up though. But I picked up that whip, and it's really a great whip though too, solidly built. But this those houses like that we're in, they're pretty big. It's an affluent area, and everyone knows me. I passed out flyers there. I really didn't do flyers there the last 2 years because everyone knows me. I basically know all the neighbors there in the whole entire neighborhood. And I don't even mow, most of them. So it's like kind of funny. So
Yeah, that's awesome though. That's great. Like, I mean, just that, because you never know when these people see you out working or whatever. And I don't know if you have your truck and stuff lettered up or whatever, but just seeing you out there working, and if they know you already, if something happens, you pretty much know who they're going to call, especially if their neighbor is using you as well. Like that's really good to have that, especially in that neighborhood where you have 15 lawns. It's awesome to have that route density right there, because I mean,
all in one
if they
spot.
see
Oh
you
yeah.
out there, yeah, if they see you out there, they're going to pick you up.
Now, starting out back in the day with lawn care, I had a 1998 manual Ford Ranger, and we vinyled that thing, and that
Hmm.
stuck out big time. And then after that, I got a 2016 F-150, but it was not aluminum. What's the word? It wasn't magnetic. It's not aluminum. What's the drawing a blank on it? But I
Yeah,
think it's
so must be aluminum.
I think it's aluminum. Well, anyways, we could never put any kind of signage on that, so I never did it. And now I have a newer 2019 Dodge Ram that I just got this year. I haven't
Okay.
really just and I do have a mini trailer wrap for my trailer. I just haven't put it on yet. I'm kind of on the fence of like totally marketing my truck and my trailer just in case, because some people are crazy and they don't want to get like bad press. I've never gotten bad press like online, but
Hmm.
some people are kind of nuts. Like I kind of like just being able to drive away. They don't really know who I am until they see my shirt or just come talk to me. But people talk
Yep.
about you on the next door app, so I tell you
Yeah.
that. But everything's been good. No one's ever came outside and like berated me. I've hardly lost any major clients in 13 years, but I've realized you cannot please anyone and everyone, and people are cheap, and you try to kill them with kindness, and sometimes you need to bite your tongue. So
Yeah. Yeah. Have you ever had any like bad interactions with a client at all? I know you just said you barely had any, but can you think of any that have not gone the right way?
I'm trying to think off yeah, well, I actually had this client is I'll just call him Larry. It's not Larry, it's a different L name, but had him all the way up to last year. He was our first lawn when we were passing out flyers back in 2010. He always still viewed me as the high school kid cutting grass. And then when we really raised his prices, he just basically got mad at me, but then finally paid me. And so it just kind of ended sour. And his son, we would mow for his son too, who's in a $2 million house. He sent me some pretty nasty text messages there though too. And I've throughout my 13 years, I've had some neighbors come out and get mad that I've blown either some clippings or leaves on their like on their grass. But
Hmm.
all in all, like no one's really like berated me per se, but there's just weird people. It's just doing just side work and side things that you really can't please everyone to. I've had interactions with people where they thought it would be, this and that. I'm like, no, this is the price and this is what I'm doing it for. This just some people just get weird and they expect a perfection, or they always demand you and ask you to do more than what you bid for. It's like, no, if you want me to do that, it's going to cost more. But people have been pretty nice. I haven't been totally screamed at quite yet, but there's people out there though. So
Yeah. Yeah. I've had, and it's usually for me, it's usually been over money. Like people get mad
it's
if
all
I try
money.
to raise their price.
Oh yeah.
So usually that's what it is. Uh, I haven't had too many people. I don't think I've had anybody get mad at me blowing clippings or anything on their property, but a lot of my clients, they're not in nice neighborhoods like yours. They're in like rundown kind of neighborhoods, but the houses that I take care of are pretty nice. But they're in the neighborhoods in Lansing. They're typically older.
Oh, sure.
Um, we've got a few newer subdivisions, but I mean, man, they are swamped by the
Oh, sure.
amount of the bigger companies that are in the area. So I'm in the old neighborhoods, and that's where I find most of my work. And so
That's good.
it works out, and it actually works to my favor a little bit because most people don't complain unless it's about money. So it
That's
works
what it
out
is.
to
You get
my
these.
favor.
We've talked about people. I mean, we mow really nice houses, like the cleanup video that you saw that is called Mega
Hmm.
Fall Cleanup Solo Operator. the houses right next to each other. I think they're a little over 500,000, and people even in that neighborhood still squawk about pricing though too. It is what it is.
Yep.
It's always about money, and I'm like I try to educate them nicely. It's like my prices are competitive, but I'm still kind of probably cheaper than what other guys would do it for. I know people who would drop the gate for $38 to $40 in this neighborhood. So my 33, 34 is pretty good price. So
Yeah.
it frustrates me there at times, but I can't complain where I'm at with mowing. If it's all in one route and dense, mowing is great. If not, then you gotta, offer, other services too.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, you said when you were telling us a little bit about yourself, you were saying all the stuff that you do. So you do like, obviously you do fall cleanup. Do you do anything other than like the green stuff? Do you do gutter cleaning, anything like that? Power washing at all?
Well, I do gutter cleaning on single ranches, not like really pitched
Me too.
roofs. If you heard about what happened to Tony's dad back in the day, Tony Rudolph's dad, he was on a roof with a backpack blower and he slipped and he kind of like, I think
Mhm.
he broke his back or something like that, but it healed up. And so I don't want to land on my butt from a 2-story, house and really hurt. So single ranches, I can hop up there, $100 for 15 minutes. That's it, done though too. But all mowing, obviously hedge trimming, do some mulch there, and I try to lay myself as tree work too. Like I can trim low hanging limbs. That's it
Uh-huh.
though too. But I was kind of debating about trying to branch into more tree work, but number one, you have to be more crazy, and these guys are absolutely nuts. Tree guys are animals, and so I was actually trimming some of my trees in my yard about a month ago, and I had some limbs. I had my wood boss chainsaw by still. I had some of these limbs came back my way. I'm like, okay, now I know why I don't really do this for even basic limbs, just really low stuff that you can just zip, by yourself. But slowly as the years go on, I'm trying to diversify more, and power washing is a venue that I kind of wanted to do as well. My uncle was talking about doing that though too, Greg. So
Hmm.
it you just got to find the right power washer that can pump out so many gallons per minute. It's like I think it's like 4 gallons a minute or something like that. But I'm now a power washing expert. I've done it, but who knows what the future holds for that yet? So
Yeah. 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 So, um, what does the future look like for your business? I know we were talking a little bit over Messenger today, and we both seems like we just kind of had a kind of a miserable year almost. Like
yeah,
just rough year, not anything horrible, but just rough. So what is the future look like for your business?
good question. That's where it requires a lot of prayer, though, too. It's like, Lord, just give me the wisdom right now. It talks about there in the book of James. If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask God. Gives
Mm-hmm.
to all without reproach generously. This is the first year I went 100% solo. To start out, I had too many lawns this year, so I had to nerf over 30 lawns, which puts me down to about 115, 120. I just couldn't keep up, and mid June hits, and I'm just sitting there absolutely beat. Like you're doing everything. I come home 9:30, 10 o'clock, crash, go to bed, wake up. This year, it was kind of trying not just with the gas prices. Like gas prices are one thing we can blame, a certain person on that, but just everything else is way up though too. Just the cost to run the business is way up, and it really just disheartened me too. And on top of paying quarterly taxes though too, I'm like, this business kind of tires me. Is it really worth it doing all this? And if you if you listen to one of Aaron's previous episodes where he, kind of debates and questions and challenges us to maybe possibly leave lawn care or possibly not, like other jobs are still out there, but you may not get the flexibility to always, do what you want though too. So there's pros and cons. So I mean, I want to still keep doing this. My goal was to do it. I'm like, oh, I want to retire when I'm 45 and then, have a house, move to Florida. But I would love to give my money away. Life's not all about making money, too. It's counting others more, important and significant than ourselves, though, too. And so just I'm glad that we're almost done with this year. And I'm really trying, I'm kind of clueless of what I kind of want to do next year. I think I want to trim off more of the fat, trim off another 15, 10 lawns, and I was trying to, grow the YouTube channel to supplement my income. Like say you make an extra 200 to 300 a month. Well, that's basically, hey, you can get rid of less lawns and do that. And I'm not trying to pull away from the physical work though, too. It's just when you're a sole operator, I can be the one to vouch there. I mow a lot. I mow more than most guys in my area with full crews. So I mowed 15 hours a day when it was, really sunny out there, and when it was still light, during July. And so I'm trying to weigh some options though too. It's like I don't have any really major payments on things. I'm paying on some things though too, but it's just the question of all the backflow you have to do with quarterly taxes. Do I really want to keep doing this? And Paul talks about, I think it's Corinthians, if a man does not work, he doesn't eat though too. And I think men are called to do. I mean, this could be like a more masculine. I think men are called to do, physical labor, do X, Y. I mean, we can be put in, different role though too. And I thought, oh, maybe I should try to get back into film though too. But it's I want to keep doing this. It's just maybe it's time to change up the business model though too. And as you talk about, like changing up some certain things so we can utilize most of our time. Many hands make light work, and the problem with me is, see, I go down for 2 hours. Say, I have to plug a tire. My equipment fails, so I got to work through the weekends. And I don't mind working weekends except Sundays. So I kind of try to put my foot down more because that's kind of the Lord's day, and we need fellowship with believers though too. So I'm really happy with where things are. I make comfortable living and money because life's not all about money, but it's just like some of this. It's like, I obsess over emailing clients when I should be focused on family though too. And I always have my phone out there. I had a client who called me right before I hopped on here, and she had cash, for me. So I'll probably pick it up tomorrow. It just like makes your head spin. It's worth owning your own business, but it's just a lot of organizational skills you need to work on. It's a lot of, pre-planning. So it's just, I'm doing a lot of prayer and figuring out what I want to do, but I love doing this, and we'll just kind of see what next year goes. And then hopefully 45, I can hop out of there. So
Yeah. Yeah. I'm kind of the same at the same point. Like I'm considered like I'm weighing all options. You know what I'm saying?
sorry for my
I
rant.
no, you're fine. You're great. This year I don't mow anywhere near what you mow. I mow my lawns are probably maybe some of them are probably slightly bigger than yours, but it's just been rough. Like I don't know. I only mow 50 a week.
Oh, sure,
And
but they're
so,
but they're bigger, so you can do as much as someone mowing 80. So
well, I doubt it. But
I'm saying, like, the size
it's
wise, like like
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
like your size could be as if someone I mow 80 and make 2,000 a week. I mow 50 and make the same. There you go, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And it really wore me out this year. Part of it I know is my physical health or whatever. Um, so I'm getting into the gym, if you listen to the podcast, you know that, but really it's just about getting worn out, just
Yep.
tired of it. Feels like when you own and operate a business, it feels like you're always working, you're always on the clock. You're
Yep.
Because when you're done mowing, you come home and you take care of all the invoicing and stuff. Now, when you employ like a CRM or something like that, it's a little bit easier. So I'm
Go
looking at
yard
that
book.
stuff too. Yeah, yep, yard book. And so uh looking at that stuff too, and just trying to mechanize, is what I call it, as much as possible. But in the summer, my oldest son Marcus works with me. Last year he worked with me 2 days, or this year he worked with me 2 days a week. So maybe next year he'll work 3 days a week. I don't know. It's kind of up to him.
Pray
I don't
about
want
it.
him to,
Yes.
yeah, I don't want him to work his childhood away, but at the same time, he enjoys it, and he really enjoys the money. So, that's
Cash, Pam cash.
he's into RC cars and stuff like that. So he wants a new RC car. He's already got like a $250 RC car that he bought himself,
That's crazy.
but he wants a bigger one or something.
And
So
wasn't he trying to
I don't
sell
know.
some artwork too, though, to get that?
That was my younger
Yeah.
son. That was
Young son.
Levi.
Oh God, okay.
Um, because he's 7 and he sees Marcus, buying this stuff, and so he wants
Oh
it. So
yeah.
we tried that. The grandparents bought some art, but I get it. Nobody really wants to buy, a 7-year-old's artwork.
You should maybe
But
try putting it up on Etsy.
yeah, we might. But he had some like birthday money and Christmas money and stuff that he had saved up, and then his brother Marcus actually helped him out, and so he bought a cheaper big RC car. So
Sure.
they got it on a Christmas special or something, on a steep discount. So he's happy with that. So
Can't beat that. No, that's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. So uh, yeah, I mean, these kids, they love making money, especially Marcus. So
You
if I
raised your
can
kids
keep
the right
him,
way.
if I can keep him interested in it, that's what I want to do. But back to you. Sorry, my whole recording setup kind of fell apart here, guys, and so I'm flustered now. But what does your family life look like? I know you're married. Do you have
Got
any
married two
kids,
years
anything
ago.
like that?
Married 2 years ago. We have a baby boy on the way. He's due February 7th. So
All right,
that's what we
nice.
do. Got to wait about, I don't know, hopefully 10 years to put him there in the lawn care business, right?
Yeah,
Like we
yeah.
just had a kid just because I just need help. I need help with her with lawn care. I haven't announced it to my clients yet. I probably should because I will preach. I email blast my customers often. I always let them know, guys, like what's going on. Do that. Establish a really good, as Aaron does this, really good relationship with their clientele. Actually get into their lives and pray for them. I mean, you could do it there, but pray for them, care about them. I had people that sent me wedding gifts though too, like extra money. I'm like, you don't need to do this, or Christmas, gifts. So I guarantee if I do send the registry over, clients will just get sent hordes of stuff, which I don't always like the spotlight, but I should probably do that. But yeah, baby is on the way. I'm a middle child of three. I have a younger brother and an older sister, and I grew up down the street from my parents, about 10 minutes, and we got a nice little cute ranch out here in Livonia, Michigan. If everyone knows the 7 Mile and Merriman area, that's where we are, and that's a nice little house though too. So kind of funny. I mean, my front yard looks good, but my backyard looks really bad. So it's like just
Hey,
like the pro can't take care of his own stuff, right? Isn't there some saying
yep,
like that?
yep, yep. You're busy taking care of everybody else's yard. My yard is the same way, but of course, I mean, my front yard. When we bought this house, it was just all weeds. I mean, I literally had to weed whack half of the backyard. So
Oh, you
I
have
mean,
to.
it was kind of a rundown house that we're still bringing it up to where it should be, and then hopefully we're going to sell and buy
There you
somewhere out
go.
in the country. We want to be in the country.
Let us move in. Sounds good with me too. Livonia is nice, but we can move farther from blue to red, then that's okay too,
Yeah.
right? You know what I mean? So, oh
Yep.
man, we're gonna
Yep.
get
Yep.
DDoSed from this. This podcast will get no views because I didn't mention like the name of the president, but they're like, oh, you said this, like, really? So,
Yep. 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 Yeah, we've got chickens in the backyard and stuff. So they're tearing up the backyard anyway. So my own grass, I don't care about it too much. There's weeds everywhere. It just
makes
is what
sense.
it
You're like
is.
way too busy, and then fertilizers through
Yeah.
the roof. Same with like grass seed,
Yep.
guys. It's up 50%. Wanted to really
Yep.
oversee like my backyard doing. Like, I don't want to pay $100 for that. It's like, nope, never mind. I'll
Right.
just take care of other lawns and not my own. So, I mean, I
Yep.
could write it off, but it's just crazy. Hopefully things come down for the new lawn care season though. That's where we do a lot of prayer and listening to and listen to Mowing in the Light podcast too to get your daily dose of Bible.
Yeah.
Obviously, like Bible on like on your phone, but hey, Aaron's Mowing in the Light podcast, guys, is excellent, exegetical. It's verse by verse, or yeah. So
Yep. Well, that's awesome. Thanks for the shout out. Well, we have to wrap it up here. We're running out of time. So, Evan, where can people find you? Social media, all that stuff.
Instagram, you can do E&D Lawn Care, the YouTube channel. Just search for me, E&D Lawn Care, Facebook, Evan Scott Lindman. You'll be able to find me. We're there though too, so it's been an honor to be on here though, guys, and I just kind of pray for all of us though too that we'll just be focused this upcoming lawn care system and season, and just put the Lord first and study His Word, because that's where we find true success though too, is